Hey kids, today we're going to practice with volume and we're going to actually do sort of an art project. We're going to draw some 3D figures on a 2D surface right here. Now, I'm actually drawing this upside down as far as you're seeing me so that my hand doesn't get in the way and you can see more this way. But we'll be drawing a 3D shape on a 2D surface, which is sort of hard to do. So you have to kind of watch closely and see how that's done. Sort of like a photograph. A photograph is a picture of 3D objects, but it's on a flat surface. So it's we'll see how it goes. Okay, you'll see some paper like this. I'll link this onto the website that you're looking at, and you can download it if you need this, or you can use any kind of graph paper that you might have at your house. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle. And you can draw any kind of rectangle. If you want to draw this with me, you can. In fact, I'll draw and you just pause anytime you need to catch up with where I am. And that way I can just kind of move right on through and you can wait by pausing. So the first thing you do is draw that rectangle. Now, I'm going to take the corner right here and I'm going to go diagonally from one corner to the next one time, one space. And then diagonally again, one more space. That's two spaces altogether. Now, on that same side, which is your left side, it's my right side, but your left, I'm going to take the point of my, the vertex of my rectangle, and I'm going to move it one space and two spaces like I did before. And then way over here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to move it one space and two spaces vertically right across the square from one vertex to the next. Keep it as neat as you can, okay? Now, once you get to that point, all you do is connect and connect. And there you have a rectangular prism, which is just a solid shape. And this is just a picture of a solid shape that has rectangular faces. All the faces are rectangular. If I have a Rubik's Cube, just like this, all the faces are rectangular. Now, you might say, wait a minute, Mr. Calvert, that's a square that I'm looking at. Well, we learned last week that a square is a rectangle, right? So this actually has 6 rectangular faces. So it's a rectangular prism. Okay. Now, that's what we've got so far. Now, volume is finding out how much space is inside a solid figure like this. How much space is inside? And that's measured in cubic units or cubes, just like this. See this? This is filled with cubes. And we learned the other day that the formula for figuring out uh, volume is length. You multiply length times width times height. Length times width times height. And since I'm writing this upside down, I want to try this. I'm not sure this is going to work. Length. No, I don't think this is going to work. Let's see. How? No, I can't write backwards. We'll just remember that length times width times height. Okay. Now I'm going to make the front face. I'm going to make the blocks just like I do here. The front face of the cube, which is made of small cubes, just like the Rubik's Cube. And then I'll come across here. And there we go. Now you go ahead and copy that. Remember, pause it anytime you need to. And now try this. We're going to go back in space, move it back in space. So when we do that, we have to draw that vertically, or excuse me, diagonally. So we're going to go from here to this point across diagonally across each square. And then again here, diagonally across each square. Got it? And the top, we're going to do the same thing. First, we'll go from here to here, vertex to vertex, across diagonally, diagonally, and diagonally, just like that. Is it beginning to look like a 3D shape? Beginning to look sort of like a Rubik's Cube, maybe a little odd shaped Rubik's Cube. Now, we're going to make a vertical line here, horizontal line right there. Got it? Now it's beginning to look like it. Now, the only thing that I see though is that these look more like bricks than they do cubes, because a cube is the same length and height on all sides. So to make that look more like a cube, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a vertical line right here and split this in half, right down the middle. Got it? And then we're going to split this one in half right down the middle. Does that look more realistic? Now we'll go from here across and split that in half and split that in half. And all of a sudden, we've got something that actually looks like a rectangular prism that's divided up into cubes, small cubes. Now, if I wanted to know the volume of that shape, how many cubes are in that shape? How many would be right here? How many would be right there? There would be 4. That's the length. Okay. How many would be right here? That's another 4. That would be the width. So the length is 4, the width is 4. And what about the height? The height. Okay, from here, actually from your direction, I guess it would be from here up. Okay, what would be the height? And that would be 3. So to be able to calculate the volume, it would be 4 times 4 times 3. 4 times 4 times 3. And you know that 4 times 4 is 16. You've been working on your 4s, right? Because we have a test over 4s coming up on Friday. But 4 times 4 is 16. And then 16 times 3 is 48. 48. So what we have is a volume of 48 cubes, or what we call 48 cubic units. Okay? 48 cubic units. Got it? Okay. Now, what I'd like you to do, and I'll draw one more, but I want you to draw several of these on your own. This will be our practice today. And I want you to draw several rectangular prisms. Here's another one. And I want you to calculate the volume of each one. So make a rectangle and then make some diagonals. I'll make the diagonals go this way this time. I may go 3 that way. And then 1, 2, 3 that way. And then again, 1, 2, 3 that way. Make them all the same length. Now they don't look the same length, do they? But when you join them like this, then it looks like a rectangular prism. Got it? Now this is the face you're looking at. It would be the closest to you. So those will be just regular squares. Square faces on each cube. That's easy to do right there. Right? Now the more challenging part is this. We're going to make the diagonals. These are all going to go diagonally across, just like that. And you just carry them on all the way to the end. right like that. Got it? They're all going across or splitting each square diagonally. And then you just draw straight across. Right like that. I didn't do a very good job on that. Not at all. Let me try that again. There we go. Okay. So far, so good. And then we can draw these diagonally and this diagonally, right like that. And then you can do that. Now, look at that closely. Does it still, when objects start going away from you, when they're going away from you, they should get smaller. But these actually look longer than these look wide, right? So what we always do is I like to cut those in half because it looks more realistic if we cut these right down the middle and right across like this. Now, does it look fairly realistic? Okay, now imagine that rectangular prism. It's packed with cubes, small cubes. Or maybe a box holds these cubes, and this is the amount of space in the box, either way. Let's figure out what the volume of this shape is, this rectangular prism. Okay, do you remember the formula? It's length times width times height, all right? So the length of this, I would count the length as maybe this right here, okay? So the length would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And, or did I say length? The length would be 6. The width, I would probably call that right here. And that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Length is 6. The width is 6. And what's the height? It's 3. Okay? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's the height. So 6 times 6 is 36. And 36, what is 36 times 3? It's 108. 108. So this shape right here has a volume of 108 cubic units. Now it could be, if these were each an inch in every direction, it would be cubic inches. If these were a foot in each direction, they'd be cubic feet. It could be cubic yards, cubic centimeters, whatever unit. If you don't know what the unit is, just call it unit, okay? So this would be 108 cubic units. All right. What I want you to do is I want you to take today and I want you to draw different rectangular prisms, different size ones, and figure out or calculate the volume, length times width times height. If you could do that, then you're going to be ready for our activity on Thursday. So make this a day of good practice. And also, when you get time, work on those multiplication facts times 4, because, like I said, our test is coming up on Friday. So keep that in mind. All right, this is going to be a practice day for you. I hope you do well.